All right, so it says I am live. So I thought I'd try something new. Usually, when I come live, I don't really have that much to talk about. So it's pretty much me just going back and forth by myself until people come in, which I'm doing now. But, sometimes it'll be just random stuff that I talk about. But today I thought I'd go through some movies that kind of made my childhood, or movies that are kind of new, not new, but lesser known movies to maybe some. These are childhood that I think should receive more recognition and stuff. And you'd be surprised. There's some titles in here that you probably look and say, what, like, why would you watch this movie or anything like that? But I thought I'd come on here and try something new. So I guess I'll do this. I'll kind of go through it. So if you're watching this after the fact, it's kind of like a just a normal video for everyone else. But if you're here live and you have any comments on the movies that I talk about, then feel free to let me know that if you either enjoyed the movie or you hated the movie. I guess let me know, and we'll go from there. So before before I get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy this or anything, give it a thumbs up. I guess the more thumbs up I get, maybe the more people will see this or whatever. And then of course, if you want to know when I do upload more stuff besides lives, which I haven't gone live in a long time, go ahead and hit that little bell button so you know when I do upload more stuff. So anyway, like I said, I'll be going through these movies, and then if there's a movie that you enjoy or whatever or never heard of, and you want a little what is going on, Sam Reuter. So like I said, if there's a movie that I hold up and you never heard of before, you want a quick description or a quick rundown of the movie, let me know. If you want to have a conversation about the movie, feel free to let me know too. And we'll go from here. So anyway, like I said, these are movies that I grew up with, that kind of, I don't want to say movies shape my life, but sometimes you'll watch a movie and it'll kind of push you in a certain direction of what movies you enjoy or anything. But these are all over the place, to tell you the truth. I got movies from here. I'll start with this one, like Now and Then. If you've never seen Now and Then, with Christina Ricci and Thora Birch and who are the other two? The two younger girls. It's Thora Birch and Christina Ricci. Who else is this? Gabby Hoffman and Ashton Moore. They pretty much, the story is when they're younger, they're best friends and stuff. You should watch Beautiful Boy. It's a really good. Timothy Chalamet stars in it. Heard of it? I believe I heard of it. I don't remember seeing it. Then it's got what do you want to call it? Rosie O'Donnell's in this. Demi Moore, Rita Wilson, Melody Griffith. It's pretty much friends coming together after a long time. For I believe one of them got married or having a kid or something. Could be totally wrong. I haven't seen it in a long time, but pretty much it's them reminiscing about the old times and stuff. I like it when they were kids a little bit more, but that's also because I watched it when I was a kid. But definitely one if you haven't seen. So I go from that spectrum to like Idle Hands. If you've never seen Idle Hands, with Devon Sawa and Eldon Henson, which I have a few movies of that he's in. But Idle Hands, if you've never seen it, where Devon Sawa's hand gets gets, what do you want to call it, possessed. So then at one point in time, he has to cut his hand off, and then it comes after him. It's got Jessica Alba in it, Seth Green, like I said, Eldon Henson's in it. Eldon Henson from Mighty Ducks, Fulton Reed. But this is another movie that I remember watching when I was real young, and it was just like, I was like, okay, well, horror comedy, I guess you kind of was, besides Disney films, horror comedy movies, Killer Clowns from Outer Space and stuff like that, kind of shaped my love for horror and went from there. So Idle Hands, if you've never seen Idle Hands, then like I said, I go from that to The Other Sister. If you've never seen The Other Sister with Giovanni Ribisi and Juliette Lewis, Diane Keaton, Tom Skerritt, pretty much it's two mentally handicapped people coming together with Juliette Lewis and Giovanni Ribisi kind of meet each other at college, and then they kind of fall for each other, and her parents really, don't want them. What's your thoughts on Transpotting? I've seen it once. I haven't seen it in a long time, and then they come out with a second one. That's one I haven't seen. When I was younger, I'd be watching, more of like these are Other Sister now and then kind of deal. When I watched them, I didn't really view them as, I don't want to say as I should, but also I was viewing them with like younger eyes. So I have to go back now as I'm older than when I was younger, because there was some movies that I watched completely different when I was younger. It's from Edinburgh, where it's filmed in Scotland. Oh, I'm from Edinburgh. Okay, well, it's always nice to, have movies. I'm sure there's a whole bunch that I'm not aware of that are, from overseas, but it's always cool to have stuff close to you, filmed. This one, if you've never seen it, this one's I don't want to say hidden gem. It's not, I went back and watched it. It's not, it holds up enough, but it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. But Gunther and the Paper Brigade. This is one with, let's just say, for those of you who know Robert Englund, he's in this. Not playing Freddy Krueger, of course, but he plays like this next door neighbor who kind of is out of his mind kind of deal. And pretty much what Gunther is trying to do is save up money to take this girl out to a concert. So he starts his own newspaper company, I guess you want to call it. It's got Squints from Sandlot in it. And it's just like all over the place, to tell you the truth. This is one of those lesser known kids movies, I guess you want to call it. Everybody knows Sandlot and stuff like that. I forgot about that one. Haven't seen it in forever. What's going on, Nick B? So yeah, like I said, Gunther and the Paper Brigade, definitely one that, kind of falls under the radar, but it's one that I remember watching. If I remember, there's certain movies that I remember renting from like the local video store. This is even before Blockbuster got into, close range to me, but it was one of those like mom and pop shop ones. I remember renting this all the time. I remember renting King Kong Lives, then old wrestling VHSs and all that stuff. So there's certain movies that I just remember not getting a lot of recognition, but I remember watching over and over and over again. So another one, it's probably one of my favorite movies of all time that some people know, some people might not know, but this is definitely one that, being a fatter kid when I was younger, growing up into a fatter adult, this is one where it's like, gave an edge to the big guy. But this is Angus, if you've never seen this, with Charlie Talbot. Who else is on this? What's his name? Chris Owen from the American Pie movies. It's got Ariana Richards, who plays in Jurassic Park, who plays, one of the kids and stuff. But this is about, a heftier kid in high school. He's more of a dork and whatever, and he's always getting picked on, but, he holds his own and such. And then at the end, it's kind of like a redemption story. Don't want to get way too deep into it. If you haven't seen it, I say go ahead and check it out. Kathy Bates is in this as well. Really fun one, and like I said, one of the ones that I grew up with and liked a lot. Going into a cartoon movie, one of my favorites of all time, the Jetsons movie. If you haven't seen the Jetsons movie, I got a whole bunch of like the Hanna-Barbera ones. They're tucked away in my garage. I took all my DVDs and stuff and kind of moved them all over the place. But this one, there's certain movies that I just kept out because they kind of stand, in certain points in time, I just pull certain movies out and just want to watch them. So there's certain DVDs that kind of got that I just kept out. But the Jetsons movie, if you haven't seen the Jetsons movie, definitely up there for one of my favorite ones, where George Jetson gets a job on another planet, starting this new plant and all that stuff for basically sprockets, and then all these things start happening, and you find out what's going on. Is like the plant all gets haywired and stuff. So the Jetsons movie definitely up there for one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite comedies. Norm Macdonald, Dave Chappelle, Danny DeVito, Screwed. Definitely one that I have to rewatch because I forgot the entire plot line. All I remember is, Danny DeVito plays this like mortician and stuff. Very odd character and such. And it's just one that I definitely enjoyed. I know there's, a briefcase with money, one of the ones that Norm Macdonald's character has a briefcase and he's walking around and he runs into this kid who wants the money and he like beats him up. This movie, I haven't seen it forever, but I know I dug it a lot. I gotta rewatch that one. This is another one. Daniel Stern. Daniel Stern, I got that, has a lot of movies that are in my collection that I totally forgot he's in. Little Monsters. This one, Bushwhacked. If you haven't seen this, where he plays like an ex-con, and to get away from the cops and stuff, he ends up becoming a scout leader to like a Boy Scout troop or whatever. But he's actually on the run from the cops, and then by the end, he kind of, he's, I don't want to say a bad guy in the beginning, but he is a bad guy. But then throughout the movie, he kind of gets like rehabilitated with all the young kids and stuff. But Bushwhacked, if you haven't seen that one. Mom and Dad Save the Universe. Save the World, should I say. It's got Terry Greer, Jeffrey Jones, John Lovitz, Eric Idle, where they get the wife, I believe, gets kidnapped, and then they end up on a different planet. Kind of reminded me, this came out around the time of like Stay Tuned with John Ritter. When they get sucked into the TV, and then the kids are kind of flipping through the channel, but the parents are, going from. I got that one as well. I just have it somewhere. But this had that feel to me, I guess you want to call it, of Stay Tuned. But Mom and Dad Save the Planet, where they go and John Lovitz plays like an evil dictator on a different planet. There's all different, races and what do you want to call it? Just like creatures and all that stuff. And Jeffrey Jones has to go and save his wife and such. Again, I think I like Stay Tuned a little bit more, which I got to find somewhere. I have it somewhere. But definitely Mom and Dad Save the World is another one up there. Let's see, another one. One of my favorite Robin Williams films. Robin Williams kind of was a comedian that can, a lot of his movies were comedies, but then when he had to, act serious, I think he was one of the best, one of my favorite actors of all time. But Patch Adams, one of my favorite Robin Williams, besides Hook, besides Jack is another one. I'm sure I think it's in this pile somewhere. But Patch Adams is where he plays this, this guy that based on a true story where it's just a guy who at one point was in the mental institution himself, kind of breaks it on his own accord, kind of gets out, goes to medical school, and then kind of astonishes everybody kind of deal, where he's the one that doesn't study or anything, but he knows so much about it, and he kind of takes a different approach to medicine or a approach to doctoring, I guess you want to call it, where he tries to make all the patients and everything laugh, as opposed to, giving the grim news and just not a people person. So people start getting on his case and all that stuff. But definitely based on it, it's based on a true story, and one of my favorite Robin Williams movies of all time. See what else talking about. Little Monsters. Again, with Daniel Stern. It's got the Savage brothers, Ben and Fred. It's got Howie Mandel, who plays Maurice. They just put this out on Vestron Blu-ray, which I did pick up. But this is definitely one from when I was younger, where there's a world underneath the bed, and Howie Mandel's character befriends Fred Savage's character, and they travel this world under the bed and all that stuff, and cause chaos and all that stuff. Definitely one, and then towards the end, it kind of gets dark with the guy Boy, I think it is, where that one got especially when it came out. What is this? 89. So I was like probably 5-6 years old when I first saw this one, and then like I said, towards the end, it got a little darker. For a kids movie, for sure, but it was definitely one that I enjoyed watching still to this day. Next one, what's his name? I can't even think of the kid's name. Thomas Ian Nicholas. That's a name that was always in What's Going On, Wanna Burn. Thomas Ian Nicholas is always one that probably is in all the early 90s movies that I watched a lot of them, like A Kid in King Arthur's Court. But this one I have, Rookie of the Year, where it's a kid that breaks his arm, and then the way they do his surgery, it kind of like stretches his tendons, so now he can throw like a 115 mile an hour fastball or something like that. I forget the exact speed that he can throw now, but then he goes into the major leagues, and just the craziness of, I think he's like, how old does he say? 12-year-old boy that he kind of just ruins his arm, and then now he can throw, and he's in the major leagues. So definitely one that I watched a lot when I was younger. What's another one here? Little Giants. I mean, you can't go wrong with Little Giants. I'm surprised because I did put I have Sandlot as well, but Sandlot they put made it all fancy with a Blu-ray release. This one has yet to get anything other than this DVD release, which I want because they have some special features on here, but I'm interested in what happened to everybody else and everything. But this one is definitely one that I grew up with. Little Giants, Sandlot, and stuff like that were ones that I like. Little Big Planet. That one, I don't know if I've seen that. Doesn't sound familiar, to tell you the truth. But Little Giants is definitely one that I might have to look into that, because I don't remember seeing that one. This is one that everybody hates, everybody shits on. But to tell you the truth, I like this one. To tell you, it's John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins, Dennis Hopper. Has nothing to do with the plaster that put the name on here. Has nothing to do with the game. Nothing to do with anything. But for some reason, I didn't mind it. Samantha Mathis was definitely one that do you like American History X or Romper Stomper? American History X, definitely I appreciate it more now because I did watch it when I was younger. Didn't kind of get the premise. I mean, I understood it, but not as much. I appreciate it a lot more now. What's his name? Ed Norton, and that is just, his acting in that one is just, over the top. Romper Stomper, never seen. But the movie I am talking about is Mario Brothers. Like I said, nothing to do with the game whatsoever. Everybody hates on it. Only the name of the characters or what it is. And do you like Friday? Like the Friday series? I don't mind them with Debo and Chris Tucker and Ice-T and all that stuff. Next Friday, Friday after next, yeah. At that point in time, they get decently better. Not, I don't want to say decently better, but that's one group of movies that I can say I don't mind watching the entire series. There's some movies that, as they go, they get worse. Have you seen Blind Spotting? No. Trainspotting and Blind Spotting, I have not. I've seen Trainspotting. I own Blind Spotting in the collection, but at this point in time, okay, respect. Bye. My mother is my sister. You enjoy yourself. Have a good night. Trainspotting and Blind Spotting, like I said, I have to rewatch Trainspotting, and I got to sit down and watch Blind Spotting. I remember liking Trainspotting, but again, it's been a while. But as you can tell, in my collection, there's this. I could probably sit down and do a video because it's probably a good 30 or 40 movies that I'll buy on Black Friday or something along those lines and get like 20, 30 movies and then kind of forget about it. Have you seen Breakin', the Turkish horror movie, or Baskin, the Turkish horror movie? It's in here somewhere. I did. This one I have sealed because for some reason they have a Scream Factory version of it, but this one came from Raven Banner. I got it through Horror Pack, but I have seen it. So yeah, it's definitely, that one's an interesting one to say the least. But going back to Super Mario Brothers, one that everybody hates for the most part, but I enjoy. Can't say it's my favorite movie, but definitely one I watched a lot when I was younger. And then I didn't realize how many people hated this movie. Like, some people hate it with like a passion. Like I said, nothing to do with the video game, nothing besides the names of the the brothers and the Goombas and stuff like that. But another one of my favorites growing up, La Bamba. For those of you who don't know, Richie Valens, played by Lou Diamond Phillips. It's the story of his life growing up, and definitely one of my. I remember listening to this soundtrack more than the actual Richie Valens actual CDs and stuff. I remember listening to this more often than not. Kind of what they did with Artemis Fowl in today's day. That one, I really not my style of like movies, I guess you want to call it. Checked out Artemis Fowl. I enjoyed it, but my taste in movies are a little bit different than most. La Bamba is pretty cool. Yeah, definitely one that I grew up with. These, like I said, for those of you who were just joined, these I'm went through and I'm cleaning a whole bunch, doing stuff. And these are movies that I moved most of my DVDs into my garage because everything that you see pretty much behind me is all Blu-rays and stuff. So moving a whole bunch of my stuff into the garage. I kept, ones that kind of I grew up with, ones that kind of meshed my movie watching. A lot of these are non-horror movies, but these are the ones I grew up with. Now, pretty much my movie watching experience is a lot of horror, but these movies kind of shaped the kid I was, I guess you want to call it. Major Pain is another one with Damon Wayans. Just one that I remember watching all the time. Like, there was certain movies that I'm surprised too. When I had this DVD, I'm surprised this shit isn't burned out because I watched this all the time. Where he is a major, and then he is just so crazy and getting in trouble in the army. They kind of retire him, and then to do something, he ends up becoming like a what do you want to call it? A sergeant, not a sergeant, but a major, and teaches all these young kids and all that stuff, and just goes crazy with it. If you haven't seen Major Pain, really fun movie. We keep interrupting you, but have you seen the 24 Day? No Blu-ray, remade, only DVD. 24 Day. It sounds familiar. No, I'm thinking something different. I was thinking about the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I don't think that's 24th Day. I've been a huge foreign horror movie kick lately. Any suggestions? Answer it. Don't answer it if it takes you off the main topic. I have no problem going back and forth. But for those of you who don't know about this company, if you're looking for horror movies from like a foreign horror movies, check out Artsploitation Films because they got a bunch. Let's see. This one, I don't know where this one's from, but this is an Artsploitation film. It's called Bunny a Killer Thing, where I guess it's Germany. I could be completely wrong. But anyway, Artsploitation Films brings you a whole bunch of independent movies from all different steps of the world. I forget where this one is. Finland. Okay, it says Finland. So pretty much what group of doctors, they end up giving this guy a serum and changing him into a rabbit. And you know what rabbits do? They pretty much hump all the time. So pretty much what this guy does is it's a sex-craved now person rabbit and just goes and tries to kill everybody. You remember a movie about a boy who turns in a red wagon into a plane? I think it's called Radio Flyer. Radio Flyer is definitely one with Joe Mazzillo and Elijah Wood. Is it Elijah Wood? I think it's Elijah Wood. Yeah, that one's the buffalo scene at that point in time scared the shit out of me. But what's another one? Let me see. Cub. Cub is a from Belgium, where a group of campers, they end up going into the woods, and there's a story about a savage or a wild boy and the craziness that goes on. They end up running into it. Definitely one that's pretty interesting. A lot of these are subtitles, so if you're interested in subtitles, this one's Dead Ones is America, so it's not really foreign. A high school shooting and the craziness that ensues. This one just came out a little while ago. It's called Happy Times. It's Israeli and from the U.S., where a group of people get together for a dinner, and let's just say certain things happen. They learn more stuff about each other, and what should be a nice, fun dinner ends up into a crazy one. What's another one? This one is just crazy. It's called Trauma. This one is from Chile. Let's just say this guy ends up has what do you want to call it? I can't even think of the movies. I can't even think of the movies that it's kind of like where the people pay to have their way with people. I can't even think of it now. But anyway, these two are, like I said, from different countries. So the limitations that they are allowed in these movies are completely crazy. Train to Busan's another one, and then Peninsula. I have not checked out Peninsula, but check out Artsploitation Films. You'll see a lot of movies that you've never heard of before, and they'll definitely there's a whole bunch of stuff. What else? Now I'm trying to think, kind of going through my own, because a lot of this is either Canadian stuff. The Ring U series up there with the that white one, the Arrow. Have you got this month's horror pack? Not yet. Still waiting on that. A lot of the times with horror pack, I have 3 out of the 4 movies. No problem. 3 out of the 4 movies. Usually the only reason I continue to get it is because of the horror pack exclusive. Only twice I have had every single movie in the horror pack. So it kind of bit me in the ass, I guess you want to call it. But what's going on, Anthony? Good to see you. But yeah, if you can tell, actually you probably can't, but there's literally a stack, probably yay high of movies that I got doubles of that eventually I'll do a giveaway and stuff. But a lot of them I have already just because of the extension. Been collecting any more Funko Pops? Nah, not in a while. Kind of the phase goes in and out because the couple times that I bought those mystery boxes, I get them and some of them are cracked and some of them were kind of out, out of date. Not out of date, but just ones that aren't. I don't want to say expensive, but trying these mystery boxes, I expect to see at least one something like a grail or whatever they call it, and then I get these and they're stuff that I don't even like. I got stuff all over the place that I don't watch the genre or whatever the pop is about, but doing those were fun, I must say. You found the right price and then you get them. There's some I still have out here that are again buried, Stranger Things ones that I didn't know I was going to get, but yeah, it's definitely the problem with those too is I don't take them out of the box, unless the box is completely demolished, I don't take them out. And that's another thing that takes up space. Collecting movies is space enough, trying to figure out where to put stuff and move things. And that's why, like I said, I was pulling out these movies because trying to move stuff around. What's your favorite genre? Horror is definitely up there for my favorite genre, probably followed by horror, thriller, stuff like that, all the subgenres. But then, what do you want to call it? Coming of age movies. That's another, some of the movies that I'll get to here are, ones that, might have a little bit of, a depressing storyline, but then there's redemption and stuff. A lot of the times you'll find movies like that. Like when I was younger, if I saw a movie that, was sad in the beginning and just sad throughout and there was no happy ending, I probably never watch it again. But, used to collect hardcore, but I got burnt out. They keep remaking the older ones expensive. Yeah, at that point in time, then they have, just like movie collecting too, you have all these exclusives. Oh, it's never going to come out again. Look at Disney. Oh, it's vaulted, and then they just make, 15 different versions of the same exact movie that was vaulted. It's just a money-making thing. And being a collector, you just buy and buy and buy and keep on doing it. Today I watched Tix and VFW. Both classic. Well, Tix kind of holds up, I guess you want to call it. I remember getting it, and then it's out of print, so it was one that kind of I had to watch again with Seth Green and stuff. Definitely one that was interesting with what's his face, the guy that played Ice Cream Man. I want Tron Legacy 4K. That I have not seen. I've seen the original Tron, but not Legacy. What's going on, Heath? And then VFW caught me off guard. If you haven't seen that and you're into horror movies, it's not really a horror movie per se. It's more of a thriller, but it has gore aspects to it, so I guess you can call it. Clint Howard, that's it. Where he gets the tick attached to him and stuff like that. But that's definitely one that I remember watching it, and then it's so expensive for the Blu-ray now. And then I saw it for a decent amount, and I'm like, I got to get it. But yeah, VFW is definitely one that caught me off guard. A lot of the RLJE films and then Shudder releases are definitely ones that there's a lot of Shudder releases. That's one thing that I'm trying to pick up on now is Shudder. I just watched the Mortuary Collection on Shudder. It's like an independent anthology film. That one, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's free. Well, not free. If you have Shudder, it's on Shudder. But definitely one to check out. If you're into like anthology films, definitely call me off guard. I'm going to try to get the director on the podcast. So actually, there's a couple people here. If you haven't seen the podcast, tell me about Baskin. Give me a second because I haven't seen it in forever. And then watching so many movies, I'll tell you the synopsis on the back of it because I have not seen that shit in forever. A squad of unsuspecting cops enter into a blood-spattered bowels of hell when they stumble upon a black mass and unspeakable horrors in an abandoned building. And its tour de force feature debut, Fury ferociously, I can't even say the word, talented director Ken Everall. Inspiration is drawn from Apocalypse Now and Hellraiser, as well as the artistic works of Caravaggio and H.R. Geiger. I haven't seen this one in a while, so Dark and Wicked, yes, this one it got slow, but this is another one, Dark and Wicked. RLJE, to tell you the truth, is putting out, like I said, all the Shudder exclusives. But if you're looking for a lot of good horror movies, check out Shudder for sure. But Dark and the Wicked, this is definitely one that you all should check out. And then, like I said, VFW is another one that you all should check out. And now that I look at it, Never mind. Anyway, what's another one? Trick is pretty good. I believe this is just RLJE, but that's another good one. What's one is another anthology film, Shudder exclusive, Scare Package. It's got like four or five shorts where the guy ends up wanting to go into start working at a video store, and then pretty much it just goes. And Saint Maud, that's one I do want to pick up. I think eventually that's either on Blu-ray or going to be on Blu-ray that I want to check out. And I know no, that's isn't is Saint Maud the A24 one? Enough said. Bloody with Scare Package. Yes, there is not like full out bloodiness, but there is some craziness to it. Just got Steelbook from Zavi today. That's one thing that it's now, I don't want to say ingrained, but I was never a Steelbook person, and then just started collecting Steelbooks now more than I ever did before. I was picking up the horror movies. What did you think of Tenet? I have not seen Tenet. Favorite American Horror Story season is definitely the last one, 1984 or 1985 was definitely my favorite out of all of them, followed by Freak Show. And then the other ones are all right. Asylum, I guess, is all right. Some of them I wasn't into, but definitely, with 1985, where it's like slasherness. Middle of the season, I was like, where the hell are they going with this? But then they wrapped it up pretty cool that, I want. The only problem is if they release it, they put whatever the one right before 1985 was the only one they didn't put on Blu-ray. Like I have the entire series, but then they put the other one. They released that on DVD, and it's just like especially being a collector, it's like, why would you do that? Like A24 too is one that I try to get all the A24 movies, but some of them they have not released on Blu-ray, and it's just like, it peeves me so much that it's just like, could you please just continue doing what you've been doing? And especially being I collect Blu-rays. Lately I've been watching a lot of martial arts films. Never got into that, to tell you the truth. I know a lot of people like them, but never really got into martial arts. Like I said, when I was younger, it was Disney movies. It was these movies that I'll get back into, and then then went into horror movies with Killer Clowns from Outer Space and stuff like that. By the way, if you're looking for cheap movies, and they do have, I'll show you. Where is it? This one. So, like I was saying, with the Steelbooks and everything that I've been trying to collect, these ones, they had the Best Buy exclusive ones where pretty much all the cover art and stuff looked like this. This one I bought, it was like probably close to $40. Got it, and this thing's dented to shit. So then, actually, if you go to HamiltonBook.com right now, they have this one. They have Carrie. They have something else for like $5.95 when I bought this for like $35. So, and then some of them are actually going for more, like $40 to $50. So if you're looking for certain movies like this on Steelbook, go to HamiltonBook.com, and then you'll be able to get them pretty cheap. Anyway, that's a whole bunch of stuff that's cheap on there anyway. Ain't they remaking Killer Clown? They've been talking about I heard more, rumblings about it now, but I've heard that, it getting remade for the longest time. The one thing that I do know that I haven't seen it, said, but if you don't know, they're remaking the Toxic Avenger. They're remaking that. I've been hearing for a couple years now. Be cool if they get the brothers back. Chiodo brothers, or however you pronounce the last name. But at that point in time, I'd be interested. There's certain movies that I don't. Why touch it? But Killer Clowns could, I think with the, technology and stuff like that, definitely not CGI, but with the, stuff that they can do now with, special effects, I think it might work out. But let me finish some of these. I'll again talk about whatever. I'll go back and forth, but I want to get through some of these because I'm sitting there reminiscing about certain ones. You think there will ever be a remake to the Back to the Future? Eventually, I'm sure. Nowadays everything is fair game, which is kind of shitty, but everything is fair game at some point in time. Least favorite American Horror Story season was the one with Lady Gaga. I didn't really watch. Like I said, if I'm not into the first couple episodes, I don't watch it. So I do have a whole bunch. Cool to see that you like Freak Show. Freak Show is my jam. Yeah, definitely. That is one that's out there for sure. You ever see the movie Spell? Let me see. What the hell is it? Are we talking? Don't mind me. Are we talking this Spell? Where the girl wishes, when the wish goes haywire. Spell was awesome. Hotel or something like that. Yeah. Like I said, if it started with, if I got into the American Horror Stories and I just, the first couple episodes didn't catch me, I didn't bother with it. So I'd say Hotel. What was the other one that I didn't quite like? I forget what the other one was called. No, the new one. Oh, that? No, I haven't seen that. Spell, I'll have to check out, but I want to. The guys from the podcast network that I'm a part of, they interviewed the director, which I tried to get on, and he didn't contact me. But that one seems off the wall. It kind of seems like if you haven't seen the Banana Splits movie, it looks exactly like that. It looks like Friday Nights at Freddy's or whatever the hell that game is come to life. So I definitely want to check out Willy's Wonderland for sure. Nick Cage is in pretty much freaking any new horror movie that you think of. Mandy, Mom and Dad, just these all over the color of space. Like he's all over the place. To tell you, he's got more movies now than I think maybe not the size of the movies that he's in, but definitely everything. No problem. You don't have to spell it. I can't spell, I can't speak right, so no judgment here. It's okay. Well, but yeah, another movie. Like I said, going back to the stack. Like I said, ask any question you want. I'll try to go back and forth. In it, he doesn't say a word, which is actually pretty cool, I think. Which is actually, if that's the case, then that's pretty amazing because the Nicolas Cage mannerisms and the way he speaks is just, you get freaking the Wicker Man, my eyes. Oh, man. And then freaking the bunny from Con Air. There's certain Nicolas Cage movies I'm just like, I'm like, this guy can't act for shit. But then there's other ones, it's like, okay, I can see where it comes from. But this one is another one that, I grew up with that, definitely shaped. There's certain ones that literally I would rent from one video store that was right next to my house for, over and over and over again. But Suburban Commando, if you've never seen this, with Hulk Hogan, and it's got The Undertaker and someone else. I bought Popeye on Blu-ray from Walmart with Robin Williams. I'm meaning to get that on Blu-ray. Is there any special features on that? Because a lot of these like movies that they put, like classic movies that they put out are like bare bones, and it's just like eh. But this one is one that is one of the ones I was talking about. It goes from horror movies to probably coming of age movies. This one I definitely enjoyed a lot. It's got Brad Renfro and Joseph Mazzello, again the kid from Jurassic Park. But it's called The Cure, where Joseph Mazzello plays a kid with AIDS, and then he's pretty much his family and him and his mom are like shunned from the town because again the kid gets AIDS, and then he befriends Brad Renfro's character and kind of a blooming friendship back on your side, but your connection is unstable. Please wait a while. We're reconnecting. So, all right. So, like I said, I don't know if you guys are still with me because my side froze a little bit. But I don't know if you saw it, but The Cure with Joseph Mazzello and Brad Renfro. Okay, now it's reconnected. All right. So, thank you for guys. If you that little hiccup with the connection, but that one, The Cure. All right, Edney, you're back. Okay, so glad you guys stayed around. Like I said, I don't know what the hell happened there, but another one I grew up with, loving this movie, just because I was one of the biggest Michelle Pfeiffer, probably still the biggest Michelle Pfeiffer fan, just because I found her very attractive, and it's Sean Penn and Michelle Pfeiffer in I Am Sam. It also has what's her name? Fanning, not Elle, Dakota. Dakota Fanning is a young girl whose father is mentally handicapped, and then he's fighting for to keep his daughter. And Michelle Pfeiffer plays his lawyer and everything. Definitely one of my favorite Sean Penn movies and Michelle Pfeiffer movies. Here's another. Michelle Pfeiffer movies. Here's another one, lesser known one. It's The Mighty with another Eldon Henson movie. Like I said, I got a few Eldon Henson movies in here. This one, Idle Hands. But this has Sharon Stone and I forget the young kid in it. But which Culkin is it? It's not telling me here. Kieran Culkin. So he's this young kid with a Simon Birch is somewhere too. Definitely another Anthony Mazzello movie. And then Oliver Platt's in that as well. But this one has Sharon Stone. It's got Eldon Henson, Kieran Culkin, where he plays this young kid with a bone disease, I think it was. But then Eldon Henson plays a high school student, I believe, or middle school or something, where he's a little slow, and then Kieran Culkin's character kind of teaches him about medieval, books and all that stuff, and then he ends up, befriending them, and they become like this duo and all that stuff. This one, I'm surprised that not a lot of people have heard of, and it's got a star-studded cast. It has Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Demi Moore. There's a whole bunch of people in this, and then Digital Underground is in this for a little bit with All Around the World, the song. But it's nothing but trouble. This one, again, people that I talk to, maybe I guess they aren't into movies as much as I am. But I remember watching this one, totally forgetting about it, and then picking it up one time, and I'm like, I totally forgot about this movie where Demi Moore and Chevy Chase, they get pulled over with two other people, and they get brought into this house by John Candy, who plays two roles in this. One as a cop, and then one as a like a not cross-dressing. He plays a girl, Aldana. So anyway, Dan Aykroyd plays this weird-ass Tupac's in it with Digital Underground, and Dan Aykroyd plays a judge, this weird judge, and let's just say he's got these bad rulings, and if he rules against you, you end up getting killed. So kind of to make up for it, he wants to marry Chevy Chase with John Candy playing the daughter or whatever. If you haven't seen this one, all over the top. Definitely certain parts are weird as shit, but definitely one that I there. And then throughout, the movie, they run into different. It kind of has that like Homeward Bound feel to it. Not as much as Homeward Bound, but definitely one that animals and all that stuff. So Milo and Otis is one I grew up with. One with Rob Schneider. I believe this was Rob Schneider's first movie. I went to a I don't know. What's the most expensive movie you got? Just sing a movie, not like in a collection set. If I had to pick or think, let's see. I mean, like I said before, talking about Ticks. Ticks is definitely up there. If you look, it's going from like, 70 to $80, I guess. Dead Alive, for some reason, this one's going for a pretty penny, I guess you want to call it. This one, I remember getting it right before the price went up. I remember getting this for like $14.99 on Amazon, and then like I remember looking for it. I don't know why I was looking up prices, but I remember I might have heard someone talk about it and say, "Oh yeah, if you have this movie, it's like holy grail for some of the collectors." And I'm like, how much is it? And it was going, $90, $100 or something like that. What's another expensive one? This one's going for a pretty penny. It's one of the Scream Factory ones that went out of print. It's the Slumber Party Massacre 2 and 3. So if you look for this double pack, this one's going for a good amount of money. A lot of the Scream Factories up there are not a lot, but there's a good amount that I have in the collection with either like slip covers that are rare or just the movie. It looks like my camera is kind of going out of focus. Which might be a better thing for you because no one wants to see this face in focus. But there's a lot of Scream Factory titles that I got in there that kind of went out of print. I think I have a video for that. So if you're interested, look on my channel and you could see some of the more expensive. What's going on, Surge? See some of the more expensive Scream Factory titles. One of the movies, like I said, Rob Schneider's one of his earliest movies. I actually met him at one of the conventions when the conventions are actually, still around and stuff. Has Leslie Nielsen. It's got Ernie Reyes Jr. and the movie is Surf Ninjas. Like I said, I got it maybe focused a little bit more. But Surf Ninjas, signed by Rob Schneider. I remember bringing this, getting that signed, but then I had a T-shirt that said Mail Escort Service. Not even thinking about, the what do you want to call it, the Deuce Bigelow movies, and he said that was really awesome shirt, and then we started talking about Surf Ninjas and all that stuff. So then I got that signed. I got a T-shirt signed, all for the price of one. The next one is Kids. If you haven't seen Kids, yep, Leslie Nielsen. It was, I think, one of the first movies. Actually, probably one of the only movies that ever featured a Game Gear, where the one kid had a Game Gear that he could tell the future with. Kids, if you haven't seen Kids, this is Rosario Dawson's. I don't know if it's first movie, but definitely one of the movies that got me, put her in the spotlight for me, about these young kids just going crazy with, sex and drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. If you haven't seen it, definitely don't want to get way too deep into it. Out Cold is definitely a underrated comedy. It's got who is the main person in here that I can't even think of. Jason London. But this one is about a town, people in this one Alaskan town. I want to say. Is it Alaska? I forget exactly where it is. Haven't seen this one in a long time, but I know I love it. Where they're trying to raise money to keep this thing open, and just the craziness that ensues. Zach Galifianakis is also in this. I think this is one of his first movies that he was like in. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, this is one. But yeah, if you haven't seen this, really fun movie. Jack, another Leslie Robin Williams one. Gotta love the Naked Gun films. Yeah, 33 and a third. What is it? Naked Gun 2.5, and then Naked Gun 33 and a third, or something like that. Jack with Robin Williams, where he plays a kid or plays an adult, or he plays someone who's a 10-year-old kid but in a 40-year-old body. Definitely one. J-Lo's in it. Fran Dresser's in it. That was definitely one that I enjoyed. Dan Aykroyd and John Candy in The Great Outdoors. Another one that I enjoyed for sure. Older comedy that I enjoyed a whole lot, where John Candy just wants to go on vacation. He ends up, him and his family, but then Dan Aykroyd and his family go to the same cabin and kind of ruin that whole feng shui and fun times. And then the Short Circuit movies. I enjoy Short Circuit 2 a little bit more, but Short Circuit with Ali Sheedy. And then, of course, you have Short Circuit 2 where Johnny Five is back and he goes into the city and runs into people that are, evil and stuff like that. And definitely ones that I enjoy. The Great Outdoors rules. Big Bear Chin, where he closes the door and then the freaking bear knocks down the door and jumps on him, and they blow his ass off with the freaking shotgun with the light bulb in it. Oh man, that was funny. I gotta rewatch that one. It's been sitting there. I keep certain movies out because I love watching them, but there's some I haven't seen in a long time. Great Outdoors is one that I have to. And then third one, not so much, but I enjoy these movies. It's the Disney 3-pack of the Mighty Ducks, which they're actually coming out with another Mighty Ducks movie for Disney Plus, I believe, in like a couple. Do you want more Sylvester Stallone movies soon? At that point in time, I mean, the last one I saw was the newest Rambo. So to tell you the truth, he still looks pretty good for his age. So I wouldn't mind seeing more Sylvester Stallone movies. Probably end up being like a Rambo or a Commando or something like that, but I wouldn't be against it. Did I go back to work? Today was my day off, Serge, so I have not gone back. I go back tomorrow. For those of you who don't know, Serge is a coworker of mine, so I did not go to work today. I heard Sylvester Stallone is doing a new R-rated superhero film. That's interesting. Didn't hear about that one, but that'd be, at that point in time, the only R-rated, technically superhero film that I saw was more of a, I guess you can call it anti-hero, is Brightburn, which I actually love that movie, to tell you the truth. I didn't know how much I was going to like it, but definitely one. But yeah, Sylvester Stallone, I must say, like I said, I saw him in the newest Rambo, and I was like, still looking pretty good. I'm sure at some point in time they'll make another Rocky film or something along those lines. Another Creed, probably Creed 3 or something, but continue with that storyline. But yeah, I wouldn't be against Sylvester Stallone. Random thought just popped into my head. I do a podcast for those of you who pop in and out. If you haven't, I think I mentioned it before, but the Wicked Horror Show. If you're into horror movies, every Tuesday night Eastern Standard Time, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, should I say? We talk to any horror movie directors and actors and actresses and so on and so forth, about their movies. But this last week, we didn't have a guest, so we were talking about, just random horror stuff. And my co-host talked that if you're a Stranger Things fan, supposedly they said that one of the people that got added to the cast was Robert Englund. So Stranger Things 4, I've been waiting for a year for, and it's supposed to be Robert Englund in it. So I kind of went nuts when I saw Sean Astin in season 2. So Robert Englund in season 4 would probably be up there with one of my favorite cameos or whatever. Whatever he plays in the show, I'd be up for it for sure. I'm more of an Arnold fan. I mean, I'm impartial to both. Did you see Sleepy Hollow? Yes, with what's his name? Sean Depp, Johnny Depp, Sean Depp. What the fuck am I talking about? I have Sean Astin on my mind. Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. I have. Love Robert. I haven't seen that movie in freaking forever. I don't even think I own that on any thing. I don't remember. But like I said, between Stallone and Arnie, each one has their own special place in my heart, I guess you want to call it. Of course, Stallone for the Rocky movies, but then, Arnold went from, the Terminator movies and all that stuff to some of my favorite, Twins and Junior. Junior, not as much. It wasn't that bad, but, Junior and Twins and love the channel, man. I got to run. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for asking questions and stuff. I got it on Blu-ray. Very nice, Serge. So yeah, if you're popping in and out and have no idea what this is, if you haven't seen it, Sylvester Stallone had Demolition Man, Tango and Cash, and Copland. I mean, like I said, with Stallone, I never really saw him besides what the hell is that one movie with his daughter? I can't even think of it. But he never really strayed away from the comedies and stuff. But Arnie did, like I said, with Twins and with Junior and with Kindergarten Cop and stuff like that. He kind of jingled all the way. He kind of ventured into, so he has like more encompassing like work, I guess you want to call it. So it kind of, for all ages, you could say you watched Arnie, but then with Sylvester Stallone, like I said, didn't really have much besides the action movies and stuff like that. You're right. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I totally forgot about that one, but yeah, you're right. But in essence, I mean, I named like 6 or 7 where Arnold. It was definitely not in Arnold's wheelhouse. But Tony, do you know what you're doing tomorrow? I will be at work. Do you like Commando and the Terminator? Terminator more than Commando, but yes. Oscar, that was the one I was looking for. Oscar is where his daughter and is trying to date and all that stuff. And Grudge, I don't think I've seen that other one, but I do have Oscar. Oscar was the one I was thinking about. But like I said, nothing wrong with that because I probably out of all of, between them two, between Terminator and Rocky, I might lean more towards Rocky, to tell you the truth, just because, I don't know, I just like the premise of it a little bit more. But nothing wrong with like Terminator and stuff. But like I said, with the comedy movies, I have to lean a little bit more towards Arnold. Oh, Grudge Match. Oh, okay. That newer stuff, I haven't really seen it. I own it, but it's one that and that's a problem with me. Like I'll see certain movies, I'll buy them too. I'll see certain movies and I just won't pop them in for a certain reason. But Grudge Match was one of those ones I was like, I was hesitant for, but it was one of the ones that, like I said, on Black Friday, I'd go out and buy, 20, 30, 40 movies, depending on what I didn't have. Tammy Erin, who actually turned into a porn star. Little did I know. I looked it up, and yeah. So anyway, New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking is one that I still watch to this day. And there's other ones like, but I do have those packed away. Um, okay, so anyway, I'm back. I don't know. It seems like it's going back and forth. But anyway, if you missed it, New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking is one that I watch to this day, and people will probably look at and be like, "What is wrong with you?" But Pippi Longstocking, or the New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking, is the last time I just completely froze. So, you know, I guess if it's going back and forth, let me know, and I'll try to, you know, you know, kind of slow myself down, I guess. But it seems like people are popping in and out. So it seems like I'm back, but I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, a lot of those movies that I was talking about before were the ones that I grew up with. That, you know, I don't want to say, like I said, movies kind of shape, you know, my personality and stuff like that. But like I said, I watch so many movies on different spectrums that kind of take bits and pieces from all the other stuff that, you know, when I was growing up. So yeah, those were my favorite kids films. So let me know, I guess, some of yours that you grew up with that, you know, maybe are lesser known. Yes, I have seen The Boogeyman. Surge. I've seen it. I've seen the other sequels as well. And as they go, they get worse and worse and worse. So I have seen it. My nose is all stuffy. So anyway, like I said, is there any movies that... Here's a question for you guys. There's probably... I'd have to sit down and list a whole bunch of stuff. Problem Child trilogy. I totally forgot there was a third one. That was more of a made-for-TV movie, I thought. But the first two I have on... They had a dual pack on DVD that I had, but the third one I don't remember too much. Isn't it a different kid? But that was, you know, those are movies that I used to watch all the time when I was younger. But there's certain movies that I want on some kind. I think some of the movies that, you know, I have in my head that I have to sit down and write them because it's just movies that I remember so much that haven't you know, come out either to DVD even. There's one, Adventures in Dinosaur City. I believe they have a DVD, but it's like a foreign DVD and it's called something different. Adventures in Dinosaur City is one. They put out the first one, Pre-Hysteria, but Pre-Hysteria Under Wraps. I actually have Under Wraps somewhere over there. I'm so pissed. It's a bootleg copy of it. But Under Wraps, they do have, you know, it came out on DVD, but it's very scarce. I remember seeing Cool Duder. Cool Duder is one that has it, you know, on regular DVD. He went out and went to like a thrift. The problem is I don't have any thrift shops around me. All these people, they go out to all these thrift shops or you know, pawn shops and stuff like that, and find all these out of print movies and stuff. And the only thing I have is a Goodwill down the street, and it's nothing. You go in there and it's a lot of generic titles. I never once found a movie that was like, oh my god, it's a score, it's an out of print movie. Well, not I'm saying you can't. You know, you don't have to be in. I know what you mean. All we have is a Walmart and Best Buy. Yeah, it sucks because, like I said, if you want something, you know, a rare find or something like that, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it's tough when you see all these people do $3 and it's like, This movie is usually $70 now going on eBay, but I found it for $4 to $5. And it's like, I have nothing around here that resembles a pawn shop or like I said, the only thing I have is Goodwill over here. So, and you're finding movies that people don't want. It's in everything. All we need is $2 stores. Well, Dollar Trees and stuff like that. I see people going getting all these Blu-rays. I already have all the movies, most of them, so I'm like, yeah, there's no point. But then again, there's some movies that are, I found for like $10, $15 that are $1 now. Goodwill I have is great, and I get a lot of good stuff. Well, congratulations, because like I said, I go into mine. I don't want to say often. I'll go in maybe once a month. Maybe I have to go in there more often, but I'll go and I'll get one or two movies that I think might be worth something. I should really check it before I buy it. But I'm not the one to go on my phone and check prices and stuff. So I'll look at something, see a title that's a little bit more out there, I guess you want to call it, one that you don't see every day, and then I'll buy it and check it. And then sometimes it'll be, brand new, it'll be worth $15, $20, and I got it for a couple bucks. But most of the time it's nothing. But then I see, like I said, I see all these people on YouTube doing thrift store shopping, and they find so much stuff. People on the West Coast are lucky. Both of us, each side of the country, I guess, has its perks here and there. Random question: do you believe in ghosts? I'd say so. I don't. There's been so many encounters. Something's up with your video. It stops and goes. Yeah, it's a connection surge. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's a connection. I might have to end the video soon because it might be going in and out. But believing in ghosts, I'd say there's too many accounts from people I know. There's some occurrences that I question about. So I'd say there's more likely than not ghosts out there. East Coast is the best. At that point in time, I'm not going to deny that. But so okay. Well, it looks like my connection is kind of shitty today. So I'm going to have to probably end it rather quickly. Maybe not quickly, but end it quick enough because, like I said, there's something wrong with the connection. So if you hear me, probably let it run for another 4 minutes or so because it seems like this thing is going in and out and the connection isn't good. Plus, I got work early in the morning. When I do upload more, whether it be live videos or unboxings or reviews or anything like that, you can always hit the bell button so when I do upload more stuff. If you're a podcast listener or watcher or whatever, there's a lot of podcasts nowadays. Check out the Wicked Horror Show. Check out our Instagram. Check out our Facebook page, and check us out 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where we interview horror movie directors, actors, actresses, and stuff like that. Yeah, I definitely gotta do more. When I do get time, half the time, like craziness at work, it's by the time I get home, I'm tired. Do a little walk, and then by the time I kind of lay down and pass out from there. But I got to start doing more lives. Maybe I'll try to lives. I'm going to try to do a lot more. But like I said, it seems like the connection is kind of shitty. So I guess we'll leave it at that. Again, subscribe, like, share, comment, stuff like that. Check out the Wicked Horror Show. Check out, all my other videos that I do have up. And, I guess until next time, until I do a